is because it has slope of a line for linear equations. It has your formula on it. Okay? And you will be using a formula chart. I will never write formulas on the board because you need to get familiar with your formula chart. To buy too many math rooms and they write formulas on the board. And I might write it the first time I want you to see it, but after that I'm going to refer to the formula chart. So, the formula is M equals Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. That is your formula. You should be able to say this in your sleep before we're done, okay? You have a coordinate pair. One is your X, one is your Y. So you're going to label them X1, Y1, X2, Y2. And then it's just a matter of plugging your numbers in. You've got Y2, which is 17, subtract. Always put that subtract sign there before you look at what Y1 is, and I will teach you why in a minute. Y1 is 5 over X2, which is 4, subtract X1, which is 0. 17 take away 5 is 12, and 4 take away 0 is 4. Am I done?
No.
What do I need? Simplify, and that is 3. Now, if I needed a rise and a run, because remember, slope represents your rise and run, and if I needed to plot my line, 3 over 1 is your rise. So your rise is 3 and your run is 1, because a whole number is essentially a fraction over 1, isn't it? Okay? Let's try it again. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So I've got a formula. Y2, which is negative 6, subtract Y1. Now this is why I say put that subtract sign right away, because this is a negative 10. If you forget, you're going to end up just putting subtract 10 down there, and then you're going to get a different answer. Over. I've got X2, which is 0, subtract X1, which is negative 12. Okay? Follow the formula. What does a double negative create? So now I have a positive 10, take away 6, which gives me positive 4, over, okay, double negative, positive 12, and the difference between 12 and 0 is 12, and so 4/12 gets me 1/3. Okay? It's not hard. Here we go. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. The thing that you'll skip is putting your values on top of your points. You'll say, I'm done, I don't want to do that, I don't have to do that, and you'll get one right, and then you'll start turning them around as you do them. Okay? So, Y2, if I have a bunch of these to do on a paper, I write the formula nice and big once at the top. So then I'm following that formula every time I'm putting them in. So Y2 is 11, subtract Y1, which is 7, over X2, which is negative 5, subtract X1, which is 0. 11 take away 7 is 4. Negative 5 take away 0 is negative 5. And you can leave it just like that. It's negative 4/5, essentially, right? It doesn't matter where that negative sign is. If it's on the top, the bottom, or outside, it's all the same. Okay? Difficult? Not really. Okay? All right. From the table. You're going to find the constant rate of change of the x values and the y values. write the change as y over x, which is essentially you are going to have to do the same thing. You are going to have to use your slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, eventually, you'll probably be able to do this in a table and just do your calculations and write them on both sides. But I would say eventually with that, after you get really good and you don't get confused with it, all right? Remember that a table can be this way, which means even if they do not have them listed as x and y's, x will always be on the top. It may be listed as balls, and the bottom may be listed as, I don't know, girls. And so you just need to know that x's are on the top and y's are on the bottom. If your table is set up this way, x's are always on the left and y's are always on the right, even if they have money and months, okay? All right? So, we're going to do this. I suggest that you always choose a couple of points in the middle, okay? I've got x1, x2, y1, y2. I need to use my formula y2 subtract y1 over x2 subtract y1. 4 take away 2. Uh-oh, see, I just made a mistake, didn't I? Did anybody see that? Bad girl, made a mistake. Okay? So, what is y2? 4. What is y1? 2. x2 is 1. What is... No, I did it right. Yeah. Never mind. Woo! Get myself. See? 4 take away 2 is 2. 1 take away 0 is 1. What is my slope? 2. Okay? Let's look at this one. So this time I'm going to pick the 2 in the middle. Remember, it's the change in y over the change in x is what you're looking at. So I've got y1, y2, x1, x2. So it's 8 take away 16 over 12 take away 6. 8 take away 16 is negative 8. 12 take away 6 is 6. Now simplify that. I get, leave it in fraction form. You want rise over run. This is where you definitely want 8th grade. We don't want you to leave it except for slope. But in algebra, you're going to be doing a lot of fractions. All right? You always, when you're dealing with slope, you're dealing with rise and run. It's not 1.2. How do you put that and graph it? You can't, can you? You can't do a rise and a run with 1.2. Okay? So, 8, that is going to be what? Negative 2 goes into 8 how many times? 4. 2 goes into 6 how many times? 3. There is your answer in slope form. Do not give me negative 1 1/3. You cannot plot that rise over run. Okay? Alright? It just can't do it. Try to see if there's anything. Oh, finding the Y-intercept. Let's go to the back page. To find the Y-intercept from a table. Think about this. Just think. Before I draw you a picture, think. What is the value of x when you cross the Y-intercept? Think. Don't yell it out yet. Think. What is the value of x when you cross the Y-intercept? You have an answer in your head? Here's your y. Here's your x. No matter where I cross, this y-intercept, what is the value of x? 0. Okay? Here x is 0. Doesn't matter. Here x is 0. Here x is 0. Here is x is 0. So in a table, the easiest way to find your y-intercept is find where x is 0. Now sometimes they have it in the table for you. They make it nice and a little pretty, and all you got to do is go right here and say, oh, my y-intercept is 6 because x is 0. Do you get that? So here it would be b is equal to 6. Okay? Other times, it's not there, and I need to find an example. Let's see if there's one. You know what? You guys are lucky. No, you're not lucky. Because I put one on your homework that doesn't have a 0. Oh, but it's so easy. I'll do it with you, and if you think you can remember, then you'll know the answer. Number 8. Do you see where x is 0? No. Okay. What are these going down by? 2's, right? They're subtracting 2, right? Here we're subtracting what?
4.
You're going down, you're actually going down by 4, right? You're actually going up by 4 here and down by 2 here, right? Okay? So, I want to know how I could get to x is 0. So, here I've only gone down by 1, right? What's half of 4? Because 1 is half of 2, isn't it? Do you see that? What's half of 4? 2. So if I go down 2, where am I going to be?
0.
Oh, but that's not what I want, is it? Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is.
Uh-huh. Because where is your y-intercept? Which is called the origin. Do you see how I got there? So sometimes you have to use logic and figure it out. Zane is shaking his head, so I'm going to do it one more time. Zane. Okay, to get from 3 to 1, I've gone down 2, right? Okay, there's a difference of 2. Do you agree? Okay, here there's a difference of 4. Do you agree? Haven't lost you yet. Okay, so if I want to find where x is 0, to go from 1 to 0, how many did I go down? 1. Do you agree, Zane?
Only Zane?
No, let Zane answer this. Okay, so I've only gone down 1 on this side, right? 1 is half amount of 2. Do you agree? 2 divided by 2 is 1. Is that a correct statement? All right. So 4 divided by 2 is what? So if I take negative 2 and I go up, because here I'm going up, negative 6 plus 4 gives me negative 2. Do you agree with that? Okay. So negative 2 plus 2 is going to give me what?
0.
So where x is 0, that's my y-intercept amount. Do you get it now? Everybody get it?
Yes.
Okay? All right? So sometimes you have to work for it. All right? And look I just did the only one you should have to work for on this paper. So where is your y-intercept on a table? No. Where is it? It is when x is equal to 0. So, in a table, the y-intercept is, let's write this out really technically. the y value when x is equal to 0. Does that make it clear? The y-intercept is the y value when x is equal to 0. So look at this one on the back of your notes that has a spot. We're going down your x's. How can I get my x to go? I'm going down by 1, aren't I? Okay? So if I went down one more, I'd end up with x is 0, wouldn't I? Okay? So those are going down by 1s, but these are going down by what? 2s. So then if I go down 2 more, what have I got? So what is my y-intercept here?
8.
B is equal to 8. Guess what? What's your slope for those of you who can do it already? The change in y over the change in x. What am I changing my y values by?
2.
And what am I changing my x values by? So what's your slope? 2 over 1. Okay? Now, if your slope is a whole number, you can just write it as a whole number. You don't have to give me the fraction 2 over 1. But you just need to know that all whole numbers can be written as fractions. And that's